After playing nothing but long games with a lot of grinding since I played Herbie Fully Loaded, I needed to go back to something quick, which is where Psycho Soldier comes in. I'm playing this on the same SNK 40th anniversary collection I used to play Crystallis, a distant sequel to SNK's Athena and the debut of King of Fighters regular Athena Asamiya, and Kenso as a second player too, I guess. Some may wonder why I'm doing this first instead of Athena. Well, that was actually the plan, but then I tried to record a playthrough with Athena. I tried multiple times. All I'll say is that sometimes my patience can only last so long, so I simply swapped Athena for Psycho Soldier. There's not that much plot. Idol singer Athena Asamiya is a descendant of the original goddess Athena from the first game. 1,000 years ago, a brutal group of aliens called the Shiguma tried to invade Earth and got sealed away. The seal on them broke 1,000 years later, and Athena has to use her psychic powers to fight them off, along with her friend Sia Kenso. The first level starts me off in the ruins of a city. The screen automatically moves to the right and I have to move up and down between the 4 floors shooting at enemies. While I may be temporarily invincible at the beginning of every life, one hit will kill me. Already we have a few different kinds of enemies. Dudes in coats and hats who hold their arms out, 2 different kinds of robotic insects. There's also balloons to pick up the bonus points. I may die quickly, but it doesn't matter because I have infinite lives. I can also die if I get stuck on a wall and the screen scroll crushes me. I should also bring up the song. I don't know if this is the very first instance of a song with lyrics in a video game, but it's the earliest that I'm aware of. I'll say that the quality is much better than I thought they could do in 1987. The Japanese version I mean. The English cover doesn't sound too great. I know I used the term "trying not to wake parents in the next room" with Swords of Destiny last episode, but there is no other way I can describe the singing in the English version. During this level I pick up a sword. I swing it at the same time I find my projectiles, which lets them travel through walls. They also get a third variant of the insects, one with wings that can fly, and after them some birds that fly in a wavy Medusa head pattern. You may also see me surrounded by 4 green balls. These are force balls, and by pressing the other button I can fire them off to create a large explosion. I start with 4 when I begin the game and can refill them through pickups. There are also these skull beams. These will drain my attack energy for as long as I stand in them. I also find this egg, but just fire it and ignore it. With full health I could have used it to transform into a phoenix, or a dragon if you can so, but I didn't know what it did at the time, so I missed it. When I die, I have a limited time period controlling Athena's spaceship to decide where I will respawn. Eventually, I stop at this building with giant caterpillars hanging out the windows shooting fireballs at me. All 4 levels of the building take gradual damage when hit, and once all 4 floors are cracked to the edge of the screen, it will collapse. What follows is me shooting through walls until Athena can jump down into stage 2, a sewer. This one is more complex. We now have pits on the bottom floors, and now we don't always have the full 4 floors to swap between, giving me less room to avoid enemies. A new enemy is these robot things that jump up between the floors as well, along with other green robots that shoot projectiles diagonally. This time most of the walls that block my path are indestructible until I power up my laser, so I have to move around them. I get a group of bats that like the birds fly around in a group. That's about all that happens in this stage, and I reach the wall at the end with a dragon coming out of it. It spits fireballs and moves all around the place. It will also lunge at me. As it takes damage, the wall crumbles and its skin is lost, starting from the end of the neck towards the head, until it eventually blows up, finishing the stage. Stage 3 takes me deep underground into this cave. A lot of returning insects here, along with this giant beetle turtle thing that can fire lasers of its own. Along with it are these robot guys that throw their own heads and have them roll along the ground. A big chunk of this stage is navigating the maze of breakable walls. I find another egg but die multiple times before I can grab it and end up shooting it until it hatches into multiple bugs, still not knowing its true purpose. At the end of this stage is a wall with a mouth spitting streams of eyeballs at the bottom and an eye each on the top and middle. Once again I just keep shooting at each segment of the wall until it's all fully cracked and I've taken it out. Stage 4 has Athena dive even deeper into the earth where there's a huge lake. The insects are still around, some now jet skiing. I also have giant fish jumping out from the bottom of the screen at me, so staying on the bottom floor is very unsafe. There's also walking fishmen who can drop down into the bottom of the screen but still survive and come back out chasing after me. And it's not just enemies, the water itself is working against me and will geyser up to try and kill Athena. While breaking walls to pick ups I get my first skull item, which takes everything from me, all power ups and force balls. Right after this is a bigger fish that spits 4 projectiles at once across the screen. At the end of the stage, the wall contains a statue of a woman holding a sword. I also have endless geysers and a giant fish to deal with, as the statue doesn't fight back itself. In fact, it's the fish that's the actual boss. Once I kill it, the wall crumbles and the stage is finished. Going even deeper underground, and stage 5 has us surrounded by lava. As you'd expect, there's a lot of lava shooting from the ground at me. The first new enemy here are these lava men, that function very similar to the fishmen from the previous stage. A lot of the rest of the stage is returning enemies though, leaving me without a lot to talk about. There are these weird green jumping worms later on though. I eventually get away from the lava and enter another maze of breakable walls. Out the other end is a wall with a xenomorph facing it. The boss itself is stranger, a mouth on a long winding neck attached to a body with 2 arms but only 1 leg that bounces everywhere. The mouth can morph into something that resembles a normal head just to spit fireballs at me. The range on this guy's neck is insane, and he has a lot of health, so I end up dying a lot before the guy finally blows up. On to the final stage now. This place sees me into that xenomorph mouth into this organic looking environment. Got some new enemies here, some sort of jellyfish thing that will leap towards you and then slowly float at you. We got weird rainbow worm tentacle things that hang off the ceiling and swing around, what looks like a beating blue heart that shoots fireballs out of its holes, these little green things that fly in a Medusa head pattern. There's floating red masses that explode into smaller blue masses when they die. Maybe it's because I die a lot in this stage because of how easy it is to get overwhelmed by projectiles, but this stage feels like it goes on forever. As I get towards the end, my last new enemy is a giant green amoeba with a trail of balls attached to it. The last boss, I'm not sure where to start describing it. An alien attached to the wall with one giant head at the top attached to a neck made out of skeletons, then a second smaller head coming off of the orange core in the middle, which is the weak point. Both heads lunge at me, but only the top one spits fireballs. There's also a tail on the bottom of the screen that shoots rocks at me as well. This is a case where I found the only effective way to damage the boss is to just stand in front of the core firing, and when I die, use the invincibility in my spaceship to shoot the hell out of it, then repeat. I hate to think how much money this boss alone would have taken from me in the arcade, but I also hate to think how long it would have taken if I didn't do this. But eventually, I get that last hit in and kill it. I move off the screen to the right and I finish the game. I'm once again treated to Athena singing her own theme song while Kenso plays the guitar. I also got an achievement for the anniversary collection, like I did when I beat Crystallis, while I get an Englishy congratulations text scroll. I mean, listen carefully. You will hear Athena singing for the victory. This fight will be clearly remained in everyone's heart forever and ever. Goodbye, Athena. Psycho Soldier is fine. It's kind of like Wizard Fire. Short and easily powered through, but even as short as it is, it can get monotonous towards the end. Plus it's got that classic arcade money stealing difficulty, but that's more just the bosses than anything else. I can imagine getting good enough to have minimal deaths on the main levels, but today the main things this game has going for it are the novelty of the song and the knowledge that this is Athena and Kenso's first appearance. I'm glad I tried it and I did not dislike it, but I don't see myself wanting to go back to it in the future.